Leaving these dolphins, to me, it would equate to tying your dog up in the yard and just evacuating. We couldn't leave these dolphins. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what kind of danger is going to present itself, and we were keeping our eyes on the animals to help them in any way they may need at any moment. So luckily everything's turned out all right, though. So you're saying about a child poet?
What I was going to... Yeah, so listen to this. I hear that the dolphins are playing there and, you know, showing that beautiful, joyful life that they teach the rest of us, and that's what I was going to ask you about. There was a child poet named Matty Stepanek. He's not with us anymore. And he had one of his expressions was that you need to learn how to play after every storm. And is that one of the lessons that you get acutely from being with the Dolphins and seeing how they are today, even just moments after such destruction?
The good stuff. Brought to you by Tums. Fights heartburn fast.
All right, a special good stuff this morning. You know journalists are here to do a job, but it's always about being human beings first. And no matter who we saw here on the Keys, no matter how shell-shocked, they all wanted the same thing. Before food, before water, they wanted to speak to their loved ones. They hadn't heard from them in days. They wanted people to know that they were still alive, that they were still okay. Here's some of those calls. Bring it.
John, it's Dad. Okay, we have some pretty good damage to our house, and a lot of other things are washed away here. We just wanted to let you know we're okay.
You ever see anything like this?
Not like this. Not even close.
You haven't been able to talk to anybody?
No.
Since?
Yeah, I mean, before that, you know, it's just, it's been a mess. It's been a mess. Hey, Jess.
It's hot, too.
I'm alive. There's no fatalities that I know of. It's just a mess, a total mess down here. Okay, honey, I love you. All right, bye. Thanks, guys.
No.
I mean, that was, whew.
Well, look, not knowing is the hardest part for your loved ones. We're trying to figure out where you guys are, you know?
Can I give a call to Massachusetts?
Thanks, guys, again.
Down here in Key West, talking on a cell phone with CNN people. I'm fine. Everyone is good. Please get in contact with Mom and the rest of the cousins and friends. Thank you very much. I got to let this phone go. Thank you. Bye. Thanks, guys. No problem. Chunked up there. Did you get her?
No.
Let's just try all the numbers and see who you can get so they can spread the word.
Can I try this number?
Yes, of course.
The 443?
You sure?
How are the kids? Are they all right? I'll never stay for another hurricane, ever.
Never again.
Never again will I stay.
Listen, you made it through. You lost your home. That sucks, any way you look at it. But you got a way to make a living. You got the people that you love. And you just got to start from there. Be small solace.
Hey, Dad. I don't know when they're going to open the road again. All right, that's right. Love you, Dad.
Oh, Chris, what emotional moments. I mean, you can just hear the gratitude and the relief in their voices as they're able to finally tell their loved ones that they are okay. So thank goodness you had that satellite phone and you were spreading it around so generously. And we have a little more good stuff for all of you, because yesterday we spoke with a guy named William Rose. He was this young man who evacuated the Florida Keys while his family members, his mom, his grandma, his stepdad, all stayed behind. He had not heard from them for days, but we are happy to report that William finally made contact with them last night, and thankfully everyone is fine. So hopefully we will keep bringing those stories, Chris, of people who are remaking connections with their loved ones. So Chris, best of luck down there for today. We'll check back with you throughout today and tomorrow, okay? Meanwhile, CNN Newsroom with Poppy Harlow and John Berman will pick up our coverage after this very quick break. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Good morning, everyone. So glad you're with us. I'm Poppy Harlow, or John Berman, as you see there, is in Big Pine Key right now, very close to the end of the chain of the Keys. We'll get to him in a moment with a reality check on the devastation there. But first, the headlines this morning. About 5 million homes and businesses still without power after Irma. Florida Power and Light expects to get its East Coast customers back on the grid by this Friday. That is their hope. But people on the West Coast, the Gulf Coast of Florida, well, they could suffer through what is expected to be at least 9 more days in the dark in the sweltering heat because of a lack of power. Irma now blamed for 55 deaths, 12 of them across Florida, 24 in the United States total right now. Right now, Florida's governor is starting another damage tour. We are expecting to hear from him on this program, so you'll hear that here live. Let's get to John Berman. He is on Big Pine Key right now. John, you made your way with your team in a helicopter yesterday after this show all the way down there. And to tell our viewers, this is really, not far from Key West, close to the end of the Keys. This is part of the lower Keys that were hit so hard.
Yeah, the Big Pine Key is in the lower Key. I guess I'm mile 23 marker right here. Big Pine is up about 23 miles from the far south. This is the worst that we've seen in terms of damage right now. Poppy, you can see I'm standing on storm surge. I mean, all this sand, all this muck was pushed up by the force of the storm. And you can see the house behind me. You can see the storm surge came through the garage. The wind and the surge pushed through the garage and pushed all this stuff right up here where I'm standing right now. People's lives here washed out of their houses. Julie Garwood, Heartbreaker, the book that was pushed out of that house right now. You said we flew in by helicopter, landed just south of here on Sugarloaf Key. When we flew in, what we saw was most structures intact. Most structures intact, but nearly every structure damaged. There will be work that needs to be done on nearly every building that I've seen in the Keys right now. That will be time-consuming, and that will be extensive. We saw a whole lot of utilities and a whole lot of recovery efforts staged, waiting to get underway. And about 10-mile drive from Sugarloaf Key up here to Big Pine Key, I saw a row of 23 utility trucks just waiting to get to work. The military has been in here. I saw military police here for law enforcement. They want to keep order here while there is this sort of feeling of chaos around and about. And I did talk to local law enforcement as well, who are doing the best they can. They're stretched thin. They're worried about their own homes. One officer told me that his whole entire first floor was washed out, but he hasn't been home because he's been keeping the peace. Now, this is Big Pine Key. This is the worst we've seen. We have seen houses destroyed here. Many houses completely destroyed, including this blue one here behind me. We don't see the owner of this house. He has not come back yet since the storm. But I did find Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace joins me now. Walk over here, Mike. You're too tall to stand up on the mound here. Mike Wallace, who's a Massachusetts native, so I like him just to begin with here. Mike actually was house sitting across the street, went from his relatively safer place elsewhere in Big Pine Key over to here where the storm hit really bad. Mike, what was it like to go through the middle of the storm?
It was unbelievable. It was like being in a war zone, basically. Just a surge coming at us, hitting that house. I could literally feel that house just shaking, banging. The winds were intense. There's total devastation here.
How high was the storm surge? I mean, we see the sand piled up. We see the sand piled up 5 feet here. How high did the storm surge get here?
In the house we're staying, watching the storm surge, the water inside on the first level was approximately 8 feet tall, 8 feet high.
When that storm surge was going up to 8 feet, were you 100% sure you were going to make it through?
I was fairly confident that the house we're in, it's a solid concrete home. I was very, very worried. We're 2 other people in the house, and I was extremely worried for the safety of us. Absolutely.
So after the storm, what was the first point of contact, either with the military or officials? What happened first thing after the storm and when?
We actually, we had a vehicle. We have a vehicle. We got down to where I used to work in Big Pine, totally devastated, destroyed business. And at that point, search and rescue found us over there. They're out of Alaska, Air Force, and they were phenomenal. And so kudos to them. Thank you very much. They gave us water and, whatever. And we're slowly getting supplies down here. But we really need communication services and food and fuel desperately. There's a lot of people here that are really suffering.
What the greatest need is
Bye.